I'm sure you're gonna. I mean, unless I can make some kind of economic jobs argument, which makes me angry, is what you do. That you'd go there and say it's jobs, and that's no reason. That's exactly the kind of thing that de-emphasizes the importance of treating mental illness. So yeah, I mean, you could lose that facility, or at least shut it down. It's supposed to be part of a correctional facility. The beauty of that facility is we really thought we could combine the correctional facility with mental illness facility, people with mental illness, because we know that a certain percentage of people in prison basically are there because they're mentally ill. And we talk about that at conferences we go to, and they write papers, and people get up and make great statements at city clubs, and everybody gives them ovations. But the truth of the matter is we've done next to nothing about that. We've done next to nothing to really make sure that if you're mentally ill and we put you in jail, that we're going to make sure you're treated right. We're not doing it. It's a wink, wink. Well, you know what I mean? Unless you're sentenced under this Psychiatric Security Review Board, if you're in the correction system, you're gone. Even though we know. And so the person's going to spend time there. Nothing's going to be done for their mental illness. They're going to come out. It's still going to be the same. And so we've done next to nothing in that area. And that's the tragedy of Junction City is it was a major facility to be built with a certain number of the beds built basically for people in the correction system we knew were mentally ill, and therefore we'd make sure they get treatment for mental illness, although they were under the jurisdiction of the correction system. So as soon as you start shutting that thing down, in whatever way you want to shut it down or reducing it, you basically are saying, wink, wink, yeah, well, that's just the way it goes. You were sentenced under the correction system. You know, you're going to go without treatment, and at least you won't be out doing anything. But the fact is, one day you'll get out, and you'll still be mentally ill, and you're still going to probably end up doing antisocial things that got you there. So, you know, Junction City was, in its low-hanging fruit. It's easy to pick on Junction City. It's not as big as the Oregon State Hospital, which is a remarkable institution. But the fact is, it has a very important role, and we need it. We need the beds. We need it. There's a major piece of legislation. I don't know if we're going to pass it. It's called Certificate of Need. It's in the Veterans Department, and you could cite a hospital without having a certificate of need. And the reason is we can't get enough beds in mental health. We know that, but in particular with veterans. And so we're trying to build a facility just for veterans and get beds for them for mentally ill, because the figures, the veterans suicide population and mental illness is over the top. Now, you may not believe it, it's over the top. And we don't know what we're doing there. We thought we'd bring them back and we'd give them parades and we'd tell them we support them and we'd make sure they had jobs waiting, and something's not working. They can't adjust back. They cannot adjust back. And the reason is they're really struggling with the monsters of being in war and multiple deployments. You know all that. You've written all the stories. You know that. And the fact is that we're even looking at something, a piece of legislation, and I hope we're going to put it on the Senate floor, which said, the certificate of need is we just don't let you build hospitals anyway. You got to go through this process. Well, it's driving us crazy because we can't get enough beds. We can't get mental health beds. Another problem we're having is we're building hospitals, but how much part of the hospitals have beds dedicated for people with mental illness? That I hear about, and I just got angry. So that shows you how desperate we're going to be. And that bill came out of, I happen to be on the Veterans Committee, whether you know or not. It's the only committee I serve on. And that shows you how drastic some of the action is. And that's Boquist, again, who helped me put this 6-year plan together. We're trying to get more beds. And Junction City is about beds. State Hospital's about beds. And as soon as you start shutting down the number of beds, what are you doing? What are you doing? Certain people with certain, they need that kind of treatment in that kind of setting, or you're never going to be able to help them. And they're out there roaming around, they're mentally ill. So just the mere fact you do that, shut down an institution of illness, what are you saying? In this day, I don't know. And I'm not being careful.